Woman supposed to meet her husband at end of trail, but things go wrong. Apart from being a loving grandmother, Geraldine Largay was also an avid hiker. In 2013, she set out to accomplish her life goal to hike the 2,190-mile Appalachian Trail that went from Maine to Georgia. After covering 900 miles, she vanished in thin air. While she disappeared in the dense forest, her husband was waiting for her 20 miles away in a parking lot. It was 2 hours, no sign, 5 hours, still no sign. Nervous and tensed, he set out on a search mission. But it wasn't until the next 2 years that the shocking truth was finally revealed. Geraldine was a retired nurse who moved to Atlanta with her husband. She used to spend many hours exploring the woods, and despite being over 60, she was healthy and fit. Her bucket list included the 2,190-mile Appalachian Trail hike. Although she knew that it would take around 5 to 7 months to finish, she was prepared mentally and physically. Jerry had an injured back, and this is the reason why her husband George wasn't happy with her decision to hike the Appalachian Trail. He thought that the trek would be a little too strenuous for her. Still, he didn't want to be a hurdle in his wife's ambitions. So they came up with a plan to make things a bit smoother. George decided not to participate, but he agreed to drive to various checkpoints to provide Jerry with necessary supplies. Jerry was accompanied by her friend Jane Lee as they both set out for the adventure of their lifetime on April 23, 2013. The two ladies started in the middle and decided to make their way up north. Jerry and Jane made a great pair as they covered a lot of ground and helped each other throughout the journey. However, Jane had to call off her journey when she ended up having a family emergency. While Jane left for her home, Jerry wanted to continue the trail. During the night of July 21, Jerry stayed at Poplar Ridge Shelter. During her stay, she made friends with Dorothy Point and Rust. The next morning when she woke up, she realized that she was just 22 miles away from George. That is when Dorothy took her phone out and clicked a picture of Jerry. At about 7:15 a.m., she texted George that she was leaving from there. Everything would go south from this point. Initially, Jerry had planned to spend one night at the Spalding Mountain Lean-To and then hike to where the trail route met Route 27. However, she had to walk into the forest to urinate. When she finished answering nature's call, she realized that she had come too deep into the forest. So deep that she couldn't remember how to get back to the trail. By 11 a.m., she was completely lost in the woods with no knowledge of where she was. Jane had said that she had taken wrong turns as well, that made her particularly combative and flustered. But now, Jerry was all alone. She even took her phone out to text George that she was lost. It was of no use though because George never received her text. It shouldn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that it was because Jerry's phone had no signal at all. Jerry then decided to keep walking deeper into the forest to find higher ground. As the sun started to disappear, she had to pitch her tent and wait. Jerry woke up in the morning because of heavy downpour. She texted George again because that day, they had initially planned to meet. But the text still couldn't go through. George was patiently waiting in his SUV, hoping to see his wife's lovely face. The rain stopped, but there was no trace of Jerry. George decided to organize a search party to search for her. On the other hand, Jerry kept going higher because it was finally sunny. She was optimistic of her impending rescue. To keep herself calm, Jerry reminded herself again and again that she had 3 days worth of food. She also hung pieces of a silver blanket to catch a plane's attention. The search team was working at a full chatter to find anything related to Jerry's sudden disappearance. Soon, they found clues of Jerry, such as strands of hair, band-aids, and blood droplets. However, when they ran tests, it was found that they weren't hers. Dorothy Rust soon got to know the disappearance of her friend and sent the police a photo. The photo was later printed on many flyers. The word regarding Jerry's sudden and unfortunate disappearance soon spread. It didn't take long for people to come up with their own set of crazy theories. Some believed that a band of suspicious men murdered her. Some also went as far as claiming that she was attacked by a bear. One group of hikers informed the police that they saw her near Spalding Mountain, but the police just didn't know which lead to follow. Despite not getting any success at all, the search team kept trying to find her. George was still hopeful that he would get to see Jerry again. An unknown hiker gave a lead that he spent the night with Jerry at the lean-to, so police focused the search on that particular area. But guess what? It was way off. Search teams didn't have much luck in tracking down Jerry. They soon started searching for her by helicopter. Jerry could hear them flying overhead and sighed with relief. She tried making noise, but no one could either see her or hear her. Jerry knew that her hopes had started dwindling and she was getting weaker. Realizing that her end was near, Jerry ate the rest of her food. Jerry tried to hang on because she couldn't bear the thought of George living without her. Even after 2 weeks of her disappearance, there was no progress. This had now become a missing person case. On August 6, Jerry was still alive. She hadn't eaten in the past 9 days as she had already run out of food. She tried sending one more text message to George, but that couldn't go through either. With only a little hope left in her, she lit a fire. This is when she wrote in her journal that she is giving up and is about to die. During the search, a 60-year-old lady hiker contacted the police. She fit Jerry's description perfectly, but she was reserved and quiet. Everyone who had claimed that they had seen Jerry actually saw her doppelganger. This woman who looked very much like Jerry stayed at the same places, but she never saw her the day she got lost. Unfortunately, the doppelganger entered the scene a little too late. In those 2 weeks, Jerry had gone further deeper into the woods. Moreover, there were too many false leads. Ironically though, the land she was lost on was owned by the Navy. It was primarily used for SEER training. This training helped soldiers learn how to avoid getting captured. A Navy forester finally found Jerry's tent, which was pitched near the Appalachian Trail. She was tucked inside her sleeping bag. This happened after she had been missing for 2 years, 2 months, and 24 days. This forester just solved a missing persons case and reported the incident to appropriate authorities. When they recovered Jerry's body, they also found her journal. Her last entry was dated August 18. This meant that she'd been alive 26 days after the missing persons report. Moreover, her tent was about 2 miles north of the trail and just 30 minutes from lodging. Jerry's tent was filled with letters addressed to her loved ones. Up until the end, she was thinking of everyone she loved. More than 130 certified people assisted in searching her, and George would always remain grateful to them. D. Dauphiny was so inspired by Jerry's story that he ended up writing a bestseller about her. He is hopeful that his book will help others save themselves if they're in the woods. Thanks for watching, like and subscribe for more.